Hi cuties, how's everybody doing this lovely Thursday afternoon? We're back at it once again with some Final Fantasy V Advance. But I hope you're all having a lovely day today. It's just about time, so let's go ahead and do my Pokemon TCG pocket polls before we start adventuring. Hi Maddie! How are you doing on this lovely Thursday afternoon, evening? It's 7:30, it's evening. Doing a TCG pocket pull real quick, see what we get. Got Squirtle, Magnemite, Trubbish, Hariyama, and Sunflora. Nothing big time crazy, but... let's go and put that away. Stuff from like maybe 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., so that's cool for me. Maddie the Owl. Running down the bridge, 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 running down the bridge. Wait, what did that do for me? I mean, I guess I can do it. You say to listen to the sick music again. But aside from spontaneous snapping, how are you doing today? I know you mentioned before that you were having like a really hard time getting to bed or getting to sleep when you wanted to. But hey, you got that sick shiny Virizion, so that makes it worth it. Also, Dot has just... Sorry, I think she muted my mic in the middle of me talking, but yeah, Dot has been outside all day and has not tried to come in till literally just now when I was setting my stream up. Hi, Rain. How are you doing today on this lovely Thursday evening? We're playing some Final Fantasy V Advance. Or I'm attempting to, while a criminal walks all over my table. Ooh, level ups, let's go. And I just got done mentioning this to Maddie, and you might have heard me as you were coming in, but yeah, she has been outside all day, because she is not outside cat, she's not technically my cat. And She did not come in until I started setting everything up for the stream. And I'm starting to realize, since cats tend to have really good and really consistent internal clocks, I think she just comes in at 7 because that's when she associates it with me sitting in place. I think she does like, I think you're right, I think she likes the sound of my voice. So I'm sitting in place, I'm talking a lot, so she can sit down and sit on my lap and hear my voice a lot. She's literally headbutting me in the face right now. The cat does not understand the concept of video game or live stream. Now, I guess that this is going to turn into a just chatting stream because she keeps pushing me so far back I cannot lean on the table and put my mic down and use my controller. It's a just catting stream. Only cats, no video game allowed. Kitten, you have been outside all day long. Why now? Fun fact, I have little, like, freaking scratch marks all down my leg and on my stomach from she'll just come in and biscuit on me. Oh my god, Rain, thank you so much for streaking. That is some big number you've got there, girl. Honestly, like, 25 in a row. That is crazy. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. You show up so consistently and stuff, too. It's amazing. Knife biscuits. Yep, exactly. Homegirl, what are you even doing? I was trying to kind of, like, push her down a little bit, and she's, like, curled around my arm and trying to just make biscuits in midair. No, I need these arms to video the game. I have a permanent scratch marks around my right armpit and side because that's where my cat will cuddle and make biscuits when I'm going to bed. See, the thing is, in my house, I have exactly, obviously besides the ones that go outside, I have exactly 2 closable doors. One to the bathroom and one to the bedroom. The door to the beyond remains open. So, like, I can't, like, close the door to my work area, so to speak, because it's just the living room. And since she can get through the freaking hole in the back door, literally the criminal is inescapable. She usually leave me alone if I go to my room and go to bed, but she's literally in my walls. But if I close the door to the bathroom, she will stand there and just like, "Brrr." You'll move to an island nation only to find out she boarded the plane. It's like how you're in our wall's wallception. cat is in your walls, in my walls. In my walls, in your... You know what I mean. Okay. Honestly, if she would just calm down and curl into a little ball on my lap or something, I probably wouldn't mind, but she's being so rambunctious. I'm holding the mic in my hand right now, because if I set it back down, she will knock it over. And I don't... This isn't a particularly expensive mic, but I still don't have the money to just go and buy a second one. I'm going to try to maybe put some food out for her and see if she will chill a little bit. I'll be back in just a sec. Purring and... Yeah, that was her purring and bonking. Okay. Making another attempt to play Final Fantasy V. Quick, while she's distracted. Well, I put several bowls of food out there for both her and the other community cats. Fish from the Devil May Fish series. I'm honestly a little irritated at myself. I had quite a few things I wanted to do today, but I ended up taking 3 naps. Both were only about an hour long, but still. Okay. On to Exdeath's castle. Castle Exdeath.
Exdeath's up here. We can't do a thing. Ugh, I can't stand it. Maybe Sage Guido knows something. The door is locked. We haven't found any way to get through. Exdeath, you cad. We'll avenge Zazot, we swear it. pay for this, Exdeath.
Damn, they really be making Exdeath foot the bill. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I kind of don't remember what we're supposed to be doing. I thought we were supposed to go to Castle Exdeath. Oops. But fortunately, I have an easy resource. Take a nap and just feel better when I do. Me. Sweet. Sometimes I will. But it's like a massive dice roll. I feel like that must be what another neurodivergent thing. Okay, going through the cave. Okay. I've actually been remembering to upload my VODs to YouTube. So we did the little underwater cave, we got the submarine. Watching stream of watching me watch my stream. Okay. Okay, I guess we're going to the Forest of Moor. 130 hours, 100% I apologize if you guys were sitting there listening to my stream while I stream. Or my other stream that I'm looking at. Okay, I think it said it's west of Surrogate. I do believe Surrogate. Yep, that's Surrogate. Okay. The Forest of More Forest? How much forest is in this forest? Well, you know, more. The morest of the forest. Oh boy, the Dechireer. Love me some good old-fashioned The Horrors. The most 4 it could be. So you can tell I've been out of it today because what I should have done is rewatch that part of my old video before starting the stream so I would actually be able to start and know what to do. Hee hee. But I wouldn't think to do that. Who's thinking? Or what's thinking? I didn't know the answer to either. Preemptive strike on a land turtle? I mean, technically any turtle can be a land turtle because they're amphibious. I do not think, therefore I do not am. Probably something for nerds. Ooh, right in the Dechireer. Vanishes without a trace, seeming to never have existed. But I would never want a life without rain. That'd be like a drought. You know, I'll be honest, while I'm happy that I picked out a pretty decent stream time for myself, you know, I usually started around 7. I kind of miss streaming in, like, the afternoon, like, early afternoon and stuff. I'm gonna go shower because I'm putting that off. Okay. Go get cleansed. I'll be Final Fantasying my 5. Gonna submarine around and enjoy this amazing music. Okay, they're all turtles, so they should be weak against electric. That's how that works, right? Didn't work. Why is everyone picking on Lena specifically? Be nice. Doidle. Okay, let's see how you guys do with the Ifrit. Me. These guys just like super resist everything or something. I mean, I get a turtle resisting like physical moves and stuff, but... Gotta have it on memory cursor. Oh boy, if we ever need turtle shells for something, we got them. Doesn't this submarine totally look like it would be peanut butter flavored? Hey, I think we can get a free heal over here at the castle. Let's cure a beast. It's a bunny. Bunny. It's made of peanut brittle. Maybe I'm confusing this with something else. Maybe this is peanut brittle, but does anybody remember like those things that are like a giant freaking slab of caramel or something, and they'll have like peanuts or other nuts in it? They always are like super duper hard. That's why I don't think that's peanut brittle, because like it's not really that brittle. It's just peanut. Skronk, shoo, me, 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 me. One.
The king is dead. Oh, I heard all over.
Relatable.
Is the attack on the barrier tower successful? Dang it, I should have been there. Then I hadn't been wounded.
Blew up hurting all over.
Not like a true king, valiant to the end.
I don't know what it's called, but I think I've had this before.
Now that the king won't be returning, it's even more important to protect the castle.
Throne room, they throw in. Also, I've been talking about it a lot, but there's a really cool demo for the Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. Because the game's not out yet, but they have like an early demo. I played it a little bit. It runs really good on my computer. I also played like the Switch version, and I have it downloaded on PS5, but I haven't really played it much on PS5 yet. But I was actually kind of thinking of streaming that. Because I forget, like, I can just stream, like, current games also. It'll just be a little weird playing another game with voice acting, because I'm so used to doing all the voices for everything myself. Ugh. Okay, back to my sub. And the reason I mentioned it to you, Maddie, is because, like, A, it's got a really cool art style, and I think you'd like some of the character designs, too. But another thing is it is, like, just turn-based combat, so you don't have to really worry about, like, reaction speeds or anything like that, because I know that's often not your jam. That in Dragon Quest is just whimsical and charming anyway. There's a lot of ideas and stuff for Pokemon kind of originate from Dragon Quest. Not just with the turn-based combat, but like Dragon Quest V for Super NES was actually like one of the very first games where you could recruit monsters. Face is turn-based. Well, that took a turn. I wish I could like zoom in on the map a little bit more. Okay, I feel like that big section of forest you see in there on the, right now it's like north of where I am with the river around it. I feel like that's probably the forest that I need to go to, the Forest of More, where there's more forest in the forest. Yo, homie, I heard you like forest in your forest, so we put more. Is there not a way for me to get in there? This little village. But we're in the other world, so I don't think I have my black chocobo. Oh boy, I'm just like way up there. Oh wait, that's right, I have my wind drake. I should go over to my wind drake. But I don't know if they'll be able to get around there, because the wind drake can't get around mountains. Let's see what we can do from underwater. Yo, we got in here. Yo, I am giant. Look at the ginormous size of my brain. I am so smart. More.
Where are you from? I can't believe you come all the way out here. Legend has it that 500 years ago they sealed something beautiful in the forest to the east.
From desire oftentimes comes evil. The trees in the forest are alive. They understand human speech and can read minds. Uh-oh.
Wood sprites are usually too shy to show themselves, but if you peep into holes in tree trunks, they might talk to you. They say that the deepest part of the Forest of Moor is the guardian tree which protects the seals.
Why don't seals live in the forest? They're an aquatic animal. When I get lost in the forest, a strange critter had helped me out. Said Kopu Kopu or something. Damn, I can't believe the strange critter told him to cope.
Wood sprites hide along the road leading to the forest.
Piano! Piano skills leveled up. Get it, girl. And by it, let's just say a nap. Good night.
Sweet dreams.
And spin. Oh yeah. Whenever I get out of bed and have a good night's sleep, I also stand up, spin, and pump my arm in the air. So I basically never do that. So we got high potion, regular potion. Buy 5 more Phoenix Downs, even though they're fucking expensive. either. But okay, we got all the tonics. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and buy 2 more cottages. It's good to have all that stuff. Okay, got the Amour shop. Can't buy me love. Ooh, let's go ahead and get a diamond shield. Diamond helm. Tiger mask. Go ahead and grab 2 of those for our homies. Sage's miter? Meter? Mitter? Oh, English in your ambiguous syntax. Diamond plate. Ooh, that'll be great for dinner. Luminous robe. Diamond armlet. A girl's best friend. Robe that shimmers with divine radiance. Plate armor resistant to lightning. Okay, let's equip all that money we spent. Mask shaped like a fearsome tiger. I feel like if they're giving me stuff resistant to lightning, there's a reason for that. Got the luminous robe. The Sage's Miter does have more defense than the gold hairpin, but I really like that HP halving effect, so we'll stick with that for now. Tiger mask. Diamond plate. Oh, that's right, I took off the blood sword because we were fighting all those undead things. Let's go ahead and put that back on. I'll give you the diamond shield, diamond helm, diamond armoire, gauntlets, gloves preferred by knights.
Warrior need food badly.
I'm gonna be so fucking broke, we're gonna have to turn around and grind monsters just to afford this trip. Air knife. Knife infused with the power of wind can be used with spell blade. Elven bow. Oh hell yeah, let's get you a new bow. Let's get a couple. Okay, let's get 1 air knife. We're running out of money. Hell yeah, let's upgrade the Orichalcum Dirk to the air knife. Oh, I'm losing track, my brain. Come on, brain. Stay focused. That's the crazy thing when you start becoming more aware of stuff like your ADHD and neurodivergence. You can, like, feel yourself slipping, which, I mean, it's good because you can catch yourself early, but it's just such a weird thing to recognize after so many years. Ooh, there should be a spell shop. Where is it? I see the sign. Oh, there it is. Cure Aga, let's go. That's the highest level cure spell in most Final Fantasies. Reflect. Berserk. My love for this one's like a truck. Bootink. I have Blink Shell. Go through them just to make sure. I'm pretty sure I have all those. Okay. You have Graviga. Hastegga. Hell yeah. Oh my gosh, this is so good. Hastegga will cast haste on everyone in the party. Olge. Oh, dude, we got all the high-level black magic. Hell yeah. Let's fucking go. We are poor. We have spent all our money. Gotcha, secret grinding stream. If there are... Really? No encounters? Oh, there we go. I just had to say something. Oh, more of these guys. The dirty dirt. Not exactly a searcher, McGurr, but it'll do. Bong. I understood that reference. I think I'll be back in just a sec. I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. Everybody take this opportunity to stand up, stretch, get yourself a sippy. And I'll be back in just a minute. Okie dokie, I'm back. Whoa, Chippy. Welcome back. Look, it's the tree branch. It's... the forest is letting us in. We got Gala Jelly and Mini Magicians. It's not that many, it's just 2. Those things didn't actually take a single turn, aside from one using Osmos, and I'm concerned. Mammon. And you know, sometimes when I play games like this, I think about like the logistics of some of the random encounters. Like, they're just these little magician guys who live in this forest. I mean, things like the Gala Jellies kind of make sense. And the Mammon trees and all that stuff. You know, you'd expect there to be like possessed trees and spirits and stuff. Treasure box. Where would you live if you were a cute little magician? I mean, probably the same place I live right now. Unless magician-y stuff, like, made more money. I guess I'd live in, like, close to where I live, but, like, nicer. Being a tiny, cute little magician would be so fun, though. Imagine being all, like, little, and then everything around you is really big, and you can, like, magic and stuff. I mean, I'd need a lot more step ladders to get stuff off of high shelves, but... oh, we are not doing this shit. Shit, I forgot those things absorb holy. Micaiah, what are you doing, baby girl? You get it, you want to feel like a mouse. Rainbow Wind? Seems kind of gay to me. Great, now Ferris is 2 feet tall and has floating sunglasses. See, the thing is, even before I had, like, the whole mouse thing going on with my streaming and stuff like that, I've always loved, like, games and media and stuff where, like, you're a little buddy, and, you know, like, the whole world around you is, like, the normal-sized world seems super big. Tree hole. Cave. Whoa. Gonna go ahead and summon Ifrit in the forest. I see nothing that could go wrong from this course of action. You know, I'm starting to feel like the Blood Sword misses a whole lot more than it should. The rain is washed. I'm glad you're all nice and squeaky clean. We made it to the Forest of Moor. The music is very mystical and foresty. How much more forest is the Forest of Moor? I mean, it's more forest than another forest that's not the Forest of Moor, that's for sure. Even these cute little magician guys, and, well, I mean, there's like Gaia jellies and angry trees. I honestly love the little, like, because a few other areas in the game have used this too, but like a little halo effect around your character. It kind of moves the leaves or whatever. I've been smalled. I have noticed that, like, with the Elfin Bow, Gallup's been getting a lot of critical hits lately. Get hosed. I'm convinced magicians wear robes because they don't want to have to bother changing clothes so often. Just get in and out of bed without needing to change. Oh hey, Lilliputian Lyric was actually an enemy skill. Hell yeah. I mean, I feel like a lot of traditional stuff like that is for practical reasons. Because, like, the whole, visual identity of witches is actually based on alewives, which, as the name implies, brewed a big old cauldron of beer. And, the thing is, things like Eye of Bat and Tongue of Newt and shit like that were mostly just code words for just normal ingredients like herbs and stuff. Because for a lot of their special brews, they didn't want to give away the ingredients so random competitors couldn't just copy their brew. And also the big pointy tall hats are just so they'd stand out in a crowd. Whoa, we're in the Undertree. So wizards wearing robes all the time probably isn't that far off from it just being practical, especially because most people in history who would be considered to be wizards and stuff were probably studying all the time. And as, you know, someone with executive dysfunction, ADHD, and all that other fun stuff, you know, and the ability to hyperfixate, there have definitely been days when I was at home and I got fixated on something, and the clothes that I woke up in were the clothes I went to bed in. Because I know when Pokemon Legends ZA came out, I happened to have, like, the day off the next day or whatever. And, I somehow, like, I played, like, 8 hours in a single day. Like, I got up to use the bathroom, eat something a few times, and that was it. Fun fact, that day when, after ZA came out, is the only day that I forgot to check my Pokemon TCG pocket. I just completely did not even think about it. Since I mostly wear t-shirts, go to bed, and changed out of my jeans into some pajama pants. I am not compatible with blue jeans. I do not like my movement being restricted that much. Maybe I was always destined to wear skirts. A pretty firm grip on me. Well, the thing is, and I don't think it gets enough credit for this, but the moment-to-moment gameplay pacing is fantastic because it never lets you sit on a single thing long enough to get bored with it. Because the whole day-night system's constantly changing, and that means that, like, you can't really get stuck repeating a thing and getting bored and wanting to turn the game off. Ooh, we got a wizard's hat! And the thing is, like, the game flow also constantly keeps new things coming at you with new megas from the story. You know, like, new incidental Pokemon showing up, and, like, the fact that more Pokemon show up in the overworld as you complete more story stuff. There's some really stretchy jeans with extra movement that give me is really nice. I mean, generally when I'm leaving the house, I just kind of tend to stick with khakis, and I have, like, all kinds of loose, comfy, like, pajama pants and stuff that I wear when I'm at home, and leggings and stuff like that. I can't ever wear anything cute out of the house because I still have to pretend to be a boy whenever I leave. The pain of living in the South, yeah. I mean, the thing is, if I lived in Charlotte, it probably wouldn't be that bad, but I'm in a middle of nowhere suburb, so... I know the part of the South that I live in is weird, because, some places in the state are super progressive, and then some are unbelievably backwards. Sometimes within just like a couple miles of each other. Accelerating my plans for destroying capitalism so you can transition sooner. I mean, if capitalism's destroyed, it'll probably be a lot easier to get access to the medical stuff, too. I mean, that's the thing, is like, they are preventing another pair of big bouncy titties from being in the world. You can't call that justice. Am I having really bad luck, or if the weapons I equipped have low accuracy or something? Or do the things in here just have high evade? Like, I don't know why it became so normalized to hate boobs, but I guess that's where we're at. Well, I mean, that's the whole puritanical thing of hating literally anything that could give you an erection slash, you know, a wet gooch. Arousal bad, sex bad, but 30 seconds after you're married, where are our grandkids? Which is exactly why they don't deserve to be in charge of literally anything anymore. I just hate that puritanical culture has, like, invaded, like, gay spaces and stuff like that. Like, even if you're ace or if you're just not cool with sex, the thing is, most mega horny people, if you say, oh, I'm not cool with sex stuff, they're like, okay, I'll back off about it when we're hanging out. You know, it's like, people who fuck are the chillest people of all time because they actually get to, like, come and stuff. Like, that's how you can tell the real gooners from the fake gooners with an agenda, is because the real gooners are just, like, super chill. Just because I don't want to fuck doesn't mean other people shouldn't have sex. I'm in here and hear about gooners. What now? You see, the thing is that the words just summoned you. That's what it is. But hi, Guru Neko. How are you doing on this lovely... I guess it'd be Friday morning for you, huh? We're playing some Final Fantasy V Advance. Shit. You catching the word shouldn't, brain words good. Yeah, well the thing is, like, as a fellow typo queen, yeah. Also, my phone will fucking autocorrect words to their opposite. Like, it'll autocorrect shouldn't to should and shit like that. And I'm like, why would you do that? That's literally the opposite of what I typed. Anticipating con announcements. Today's the day when they announce it in the raffles. Ooh, praying for you, girly. You need to get the people their sexy race car men. Oh, hey, random hypothetical. Would you guys get super mad at me if I ever decided to just jump straight to streaming Metal Gear Rising without streaming any of the other Metal Gear games? It's just been on my brain a lot lately. Part of it's from singing the music a lot lately. Part of it is I don't want to be late for anime school. I mean, I was trying to think about it. I feel like some context gets completely lost if you haven't seen the story of Metal Gear. 1 vote from me. I apparently have at least 2 votes. But it's like, as Guru has said before, Metal Gear Rising is for the girls and the gays. Because, dude, it's like, especially now that I have the capture card, even though I know I haven't used it for any streams yet, I'm kind of like, I'm gonna have to redo some parts of my setup. And whatever part of my brain, like, does not like things changing, especially when, like, I've had some things hooked up to specific spots on the TV or whatever for literal years and years. Sit on this hill. It's obviously for us. I mean, you're right. I mean, Metal Gear in general is like... for a series about, like, military battles and with guns and all that stuff. Like, the game is the game is not straight. I mean, again, Hideo Kojima, asking like, Shinkawa to like make Snake look like he has panty lines in his sneaking suit. It's just like, come on. Honestly, one of the greatest injustices of our time is military has been historically very not straight. True. Well, honestly, nothing's gayer than the military. Look at the Navy. There is not a heterosexual explanation for Metal Gear Rising. All very true. It's like, I love how on the same page everybody is. Wait, do I have mallets? Because I could probably save my MP. Okay, I have like 86 mallets. I need to save my MP if that happens again. Like, Japanese soldiers back in the day created bara magazines to hide their homosexuality during the war. It's so weird, like, and sad that people had to be so evasive about something as simple as, as simple and pure as love and attraction. Look at this imp! I just noticed, look at this guy! The term bara has history. Isn't the literal definition rose or something like that? I'm not talking about like the societal, like, contextual definition. I'm talking about just like the literal definition of the word. Would anybody be willing to wield their sword? Thank you, Rain, for once again cutting a worthless object. I always thought these rose because Enos looks kind of like a rose, which is a very poetic way of putting it. I never particularly thought about it that way. Yuri means lily, yep. Which actually leads to a sort of pun that got lost in translation, unless you know the context of that. In Hyperdimension Neptunia, I think from Victory onward, sorry, I lost my train of thought for a sec. Okay, in Hyperdimension Neptunia from Victory onward, you can actually have characters like tag in to other characters to provide assists, and also both characters will gain EXP from the battle, even if the assist one doesn't participate. And when the characters are linked up like this, they'll increase their like a friendship meter, so they'll get like different assists and more other stuff like that. And the name of this bonding system is the Lily ranking. Which, like, if you only understand English... I don't have Echo Grass. Am I having a dyslexia moment? Maybe mute just for yourself after battle, question mark? But yeah, if you only understand English, then it's like, oh, lilies are cute flowers, that's nice. But if you understand Japanese... it's just like, wow, that it could not be more obvious. Because with Hyperdimension Neptunia, generally, the series is all about pretty girls, and they're almost always being, like, shipped with each other in the narrative, and being all flirty and shy. You're putting too much thought into mints, but seems unlikely. Oh, it's ready to cut down worthless object. I thought everyone thought that. Am I putting too much thought into it? You're being about as subtle as a brick. I've known writers who use subtlety, and they're all cowards. Ooh, 9,500. Big money, big dollar. Mucho dinero. Daizenido. Spirit Blast. Wish I could just happen upon $9,500 for taking a stroll through the woods. I'm a sucker for roundabout ways to show love. I always love Keisuke say, "You can only lose to me," which is another saying, "You're mine and only mine." Gives you the brain tingles. I mean, that is probably like... I can guarantee that all across the world, Seto Kaiba's relationship toward Yugi like has probably changed the brain chemistry of many of a girl and or gay man. Mallet yourself. It's like, even though it's like a filler episode, the that one episode in like the season 4 where you know, like, Yugi gets, like, possessed by the Seal of Orichalcos and ends up losing a duel because of... well, because he's possessed. And Kaiba acts like a fucking dejected ex when he finds out that Yugi actually lost a duel. That exact moment happens in Initial D. I mean, Kaiba's rivalry makes a lot more sense and seems a lot less petty in the manga. When you realize, like, from Kaiba's perspective, he sacrificed so much to become, like, this wealthy and powerful CEO who's also good at everything he does. And to him, you know, Yugi's just some random dude who goes to high school with him. And for whatever reason, he just cannot defeat Yugi in anything. Though, a really fascinating thing, I don't know if you watched the Dark Side of Dimensions movie, but it is an absolute must-watch. Though, if anything seems like weird continuity snarls, it's because, okay, Dark Side of Dimensions is not a sequel to the TV anime, it's a sequel to the manga. It was actually mostly written by Kazuki Takahashi. But the thing is, with Dark Side of Dimensions, a part of it is Kaiba coping with the fact that he never got any closure with a Tim before the end of the manga. And also with Yugi having to pick up the pieces of kind of... because, you know, Yugi's a physical reminder of a Tim to Kaiba, but Kaiba never thought about Yugi as his own person. And kind of having to deal with that. You know, it's just, I don't want to spoil it, but the movie's so good. It's also the rare piece of animation where a few cuts are actually hand animated by Takahashi himself, and they look gorgeous. There's a race where Takumi loses, so Keisuke drives to his workplace and is like, "I will avenge for him." I mean, I'm sorry, but these writers have got to know what they're doing when they put stuff like that. I did get to watch a good movie. Highly recommend. It's so crazy because, like, even though it's animated by Studio Gallup and stuff like that, for the most part, it feels, like, so different from the anime because of being written by Takahashi. And it's almost surreal to have the vibe and stuff of the original manga actually in something animated. Because the thing is, what people really don't get with 4Kids is that a lot of the stuff that they did wasn't just them trying to butcher stuff on purpose. A lot of issues they had were that they had to make the things that they were dubbing safe for Saturday morning North American, like, standards and practices for children's TV. Because if you watch the both the Yu-Gi-Oh movies, the dialogue is much less censored, and they actually show the full illustrations of the cards. Also, Guru Neko, I don't know if this is something you probably wondered about growing up in Japan, but watching the English versions of Yu-Gi-Oh, the reason why the cards are like a big block of picture with just like the attack and defense values below it instead of looking like the real cards like it does in the original Japanese version, in like American TV broadcast standards for children's television, you cannot put real life like items that you can purchase into a show. If you do, it's considered an advertisement. And having to pay for a 22-minute advertisement as opposed to like a 22-minute regular cartoon is a like several multiplications of magnitude more expensive. So they basically edited every card to look like nothing the real cards look like. Watch it with my brother because of the gay undertones he noticed and wanted to point out to me. It's been so long I don't remember. It definitely would be worth a rewatch. It's, like I said, it's just a great movie anyway. Yeah, that's the thing, is like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime is a big advertisement. It's not, though. I mean, okay, it kind of is, but it's not. Because keep in mind, the manga was never written with that intention. The manga was just a manga about games in general. Like board games, card games, everything. And the TCG episode of the manga just happened to be really, really popular, and people wanted to see more of it, and they liked Kaiba as a character, so so Takahashi kind of just pivoted and said, like, okay, we'll make it about the card game. The anime's in a weird spot. Like, I can't not love it, but it irritates me how much they sacrifice of the original manga's tone to make sure they add more trading cards in. Its tone, its pacing, its consistency. But I mean, it's also in a weird spot where, like, despite kind of being a marketing thing for the cards, it also stands alone pretty well as a piece of just regular media that's enjoyable to watch anyway because of the manga it's based on. But I mean, you could also argue stuff like Bakugan's original anime and Beyblade and stuff like that are enjoyable watches as well, even if you have zero interest in the toy. Would have loved an anime that was more in line with the original manga, being more horror. Oh, absolutely. Like, I actually had, like, a dream a few months ago that they were actually producing a show, and it was called, like, it was Yu-Gi-Oh, but it was called, like, it had Kazuki Takahashi's in, like, a tiny little blurb over the top instead of Shonen Jump, and it was actually, like, basically, the dream was that they were doing, like, an adaptation of the manga that was almost one-to-one. And I was just like so happy, and then I woke up and it wasn't actually real. I mean, it's one of those things that's like a good dream because a good thing happened in the dream, but it's a bad dream because you wake up and you're like, oh. And like they even had a big thing about it, like for the English dub, that it wasn't going to be dubbed by 4Kids staff, but they were bringing back like all the character voice actors. In full honesty, despite its memories, despite its history, I have memories to the Yu-Gi-Oh anime, so I can't hate it. Well, I don't hate it. It's just like, if you watch only that anime ever, and you enjoy it, then, you know, you have, like, you've enjoyed Yu-Gi-Oh! But it's when you read the manga and think about what could have been there, that's when it starts to look pale in comparison. Do not shoot your friends with an arrow. What did I just fucking tell you? I've slowly come to realize over the years that I actually like horror as a genre as well. I enjoy horror stuff a lot, especially in video games. The biggest issue I tend to have with like horror movies is stuff like it relies so much on gore and slasher stuff. It's like it relies on either gore and slasher stuff or characters having like literally no logical sense. Save point. Time for cottage. A delicious type of cheese. Wasn't really exposed to horror that much when I was younger. I always got scared by it or anything. Even like I remember being a little kid and playing a Super Nintendo demo kiosk in Walmart and being scared by Super Metroid. Elias tonic. I mean, I tend to like horror the most in video game form, and I like a lot of the aesthetics as horror. I just don't really care for modern horror storytelling a lot of the times. I did find out later that people were scared by Courage the Cowardly Dog, and it's basically horror for kids. I mean, honestly, I have a lot of respect for creators that can make kid-friendly horror series, like Courage the Cowardly Dog. Genuinely surprised that people found Courage scary. Especially as a young kid, I could absolutely see it, though. Because some of the stuff's, you know, like the Return to the Slab and all that it can be genuinely unnerving anyway. But, you know, for like a little kid, I could definitely see it. A lot of it is that the series also creates a really good tone and stuff with the music and a lot of stuff like that kind of enhances the scary. Also note the Confuse spell sounds like the Chocobo theme sped up. See, as one of those kids, unfortunately, my mom loved it, so I always had to watch it before going to bed. I do think horror is best in video games just based on the fact that it puts you in the horrific situation. Exactly. Especially because, like, a lot of horror stuff, you know, once the characters start being stupid and not doing any logical or thing to get out of a situation, basically when you can start feeling the hand of the writer putting them in the situation, it takes you out of it, and then it's not scary anymore. You're just like, oh, okay, whatever. Or, you know, when people start rooting for the horror monster or something. But when you're in a video game, again, it puts, like, you, the person, in that situation. So even if you don't care about the story and you don't find the monster scary, on principle, there's still the fact that, like, oh crap, if this thing finds me, it's going to screw with my game progress. That's why you have stuff like Resident Evil 1 giving you limited saves and stuff like that. It's not an oversight. It's designed like that intentionally to make sure the horror is actually scary. You actually have something to lose if you get caught. I don't know why. I don't know why about during the 2000s Courage aired before bedtime. I mean, that just depends on when your bedtime is. Those around 10 or 9. And that about tracks. As opposed to now when you just, like, stay up all night drawing Hot Boy. I remember it being dark out and having to prepare for bed as soon after the episode ended. Because honestly, I only ever caught the series in reruns. I really didn't watch it that much when it was new. And even then, I was like... I wasn't like a kid. In the 2000s, I was like teenagering and stuff, so... I also really didn't watch a lot of cartoons, like Western cartoons back then, because I was in my like snobby weeb phase where obviously anime was better and superior, etc., all that dumb shit. Which, like, I mean, obviously I still prefer Japanese animation and stuff in general a lot of the times, but it's like that none of them are inherently superior or inferior. There's just as much amazing, beautiful art and horrifically poorly produced capitalist slop on both sides. Anime only seemed better to Americans in the 90s and 2000s and a little bit later and stuff because companies were ultra selective about what they localized because it was a huge financial risk. So we only got the really good stuff localized. So that kind of creates this false idea that, oh, you know, all anime is inherently better. When in reality, it was cherry-picked because they just wanted something that would make sure to make money. Because, like, a lot of times when people say, oh, you know, now anime just isn't as good as it used to be. And it's like, no, it's just you're seeing literally all of it instead of the cherry-picked things decided on that they'd be the most marketable. I think that, like, a lot of people who say, like, oh, old games were better, it's the same thing, is, like, less stuff was being made available globally, so they just cherry-picked the best stuff that they thought would sell the best. There's also The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack and Invader Zim that had some horror undertones and just kind of plain weird overall. Early Invader Zim had, like, an organ harvesting episode. I think it was later banned from being aired. I'm probably going to catch hate for saying this, and I don't like to be the person who yucks other people's yum, and I don't have anything against people who like it. But I have a very, very strong distaste for Invader Zim. I mean, I would say anime has changed. I feel like the quality's changed. Yeah, I mean, like, a big problem right now, I think a lot of shows and series are facing, is that too much is being pumped out too fast. And it fucking sucks because, like, the industry working its amazing people to death has been a issue for, like, half of a fucking century, and it gets acknowledged and then nobody does anything about it. is entirely fair. Like, I know Invader Zim's formative for a lot of people, but it's just like something about it really rubs me the wrong way. And it's not like the horror elements or anything like that. Granted, like, the creator has also done a comic called Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, and in general, all of his stuff is really mean-spirited and a bit nihilistic from what I've interacted with. And I know Death of the Artist, blah, 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 but I don't know, maybe my perspective is just warped from being raised in a loving home, but, like, nihilistic media just does not vibe with me. Morningstar. I mean, Invader Zim was very mean-spirited. Remember, my mom didn't like the cartoon either, so you're not alone. Okay. Because, like, I was raised in a loving house, but... Ooh, metal balls attached to the handle. Ow. I was raised in a loving house, but I also grew up interacting with a lot of people who were just, like, incredibly cruel that I went to school with. And I'm not talking about the usual, oh, kids can be cruel. I mean, like, actually, like, anime villain sadists and stuff like that, borderline, some of the people I grew up around. Which probably may be why I found anime more believable when I was younger, just because, like, I did experience both that deep, you know, familial love and being around actual sociopaths. And I said, maybe I'm just weird like this, but I will never understand why people would want to be mean. Being nice is super fun, and if you're nice, you might get cookies. You know how many cookies mean people get? 0. I just went in a circle. Oops. I was really young. I just outright didn't believe that people could be so blatant and cartoonishly evil. It would be obvious that they were being evil. Yeah. Back then, cartoons weren't too afraid to show us uncomfortable things. It was good since kids' media wasn't as sugar-coated. But you could get shows like Invader Zim as well. Like I said, I also have respect for shows that, even if they didn't openly say what was happening, were definitely willing to show you, to show and address things to kids that were uncomfortable or difficult. Because kids aren't stupid. They just don't have the life experience that an adult would have. Static Shock throws so many hard topics in ways that most modern show would stay. Oh, absolutely. Static Shock's amazing. It's like, I liked it pretty well when it was new, but I did not appreciate it enough. I wish I could go back and watch through it again. Need to rewatch Static Shock. See, we're on the same page. See, the thing is, like, I don't think writers or anything got more cowardly. It's just executives are terrified they might alienate anybody at any point and lose out in, like, even a little bit of potential profit. Like, adults back then understood kids, had the empathy to understand undertones. Like you said, we didn't experience it, but it doesn't mean we can't feel the characters' emotions. Exactly. Like, this is why I can't fault Gen X as much, since they did make a good part of my childhood. I mean, the thing is, Gen X is like a 50-50 split in a lot of ways, in where, like, some of them did turn into shitty mirrors of their boomer parents, But there are also a lot of Gen Xers who, like, legitimately saw that they could make the world a better place, even by 1%, and they went for it. Kids are so much smarter than people think they are. Absolutely. It's weird because, like, yo, it's not like that's a foreign experience. Everybody's been a kid at some point. Not me. Yeah, I forgot you were busy training your Wii to fit you. Might not have the words to describe what they're thinking all the time with accuracy, but neither can most adults. Yeah, that took up a ton of time. I don't know, when I was 23, I saw my peers turn into boomers, so... Yeah, no, it's depressing. I think I mentioned this before on another stream, but it is heartbreaking to watch, you know, the rebellious people you grew up with, you know, who are doing all their punk and counterculture stuff, slowly turn into everything they hated about their parents. I am lost in the woods. That said, it's like, it's funny because with Gen Z obviously growing into adults and stuff like that, it's interesting to see stuff that, like, was so universally hated, like Minions or the Frozen movies or whatever, you know, get much more, like, positivity and even become, like, part of memes and stuff. And then I realize it's just because adults just hated that shit because kids liked it. And it's so weird to hate the things your kids like. Like, why would you be like that? Even if my mom didn't get or wasn't interested in every single thing I liked, she wasn't hateful toward it either. I refused to become my father, so instead I decided to become my mother because she actually has some media literacy. I actually fucking jump scared myself, because I was messing around with some of, like, my products and stuff to do my hair up, just at home by myself, because again, I have to play pretend whenever I leave the house. And, like, I kind of got myself a little bit prettied, and I looked in the mirror, and it literally looked like my mom. Depending on your sources, this year we will see the first 30-year-old Gen Zers. Wow. Wow. When I was a teen, when that movie came out, it resonated with Elsa. Like, whenever I get picked up that Let It Go was in my playlist, I'd immediately shut the door that helps my anxieties, because the song depicted... It really does, though. Like, it's actually really good. HRT will turn you into your mom, I can tell you from experience. I mean, she was really pretty and really cool, so I welcome it. I haven't even done any HRT, it's just like, just prettying myself up a little bit, I started to look like her. What the? Dude, Smokey the Bear's gonna be pissed. Oh no, Exdeath setting the forest on fire? No, I can't get the treasure box! Listen, I got my... Oh wait, yes I can. Haha. Ooh, Aegis Shield. I enjoy things that have Aegises. Where are we? America? Goodbye.
Let's hide out here till the flames die down.
Google. Get out.
HP and MP restored. All status ailments removed. KO'd allies revived. Feeling nice and clean. Pokeball?
Google.
Okay, so I can't go in the water. Guess we really do just be vibing here. I think when I was a teenager, there was a trend going around where there was an app that let you see what you'd look like at the opposite gender. And the only thing it did when I tried was gave me makeup.
Come on.
Vibe with the Moogles. Sheesh. It's empty. I remember one of those too, but it did more than just makeup. It would say it was an awakening, but I was already there. It's fair. In a way, something like that can just be like really nice confirmation. In a weird way. Or hey, depending on where you're headed, a vision of the future. Obtained Ash. Pallet Town? Burnt remains. Wow. I even traced over it and posted it to Miiverse. Flame Tongue. Okay, it is weaker than the Blood Sword, but the Blood Sword keeps missing like every other attack. Level up. Ooh. Homie really just like nuked part of his hometown just to spite us. Damn. Sorry I went silent for a second there. I don't know if any of you guys ever do this, but it's like you have like 15 things in your brain you want to say, and then you just like freeze because they all hit you at once. If there are any ever long stretches of silence on the stream, that it's probably something along the lines of that. I really apologize. Well, the forest used to be a lot more than it is now. Too many programs running at once. All the time, especially when I get too excited. Just pause or tell who I'm talking to that I'm reorganizing my thoughts. That's fair. Of course, I probably put a little too much pressure on myself on stream to just constantly be yapping. Like half the things... I say like half the things I want because of that. They didn't like the Forest of More being more forest than the average forest, so they made it the forest. At least we can tap it for green mana. What's that?
The Guardian Tree. It's what protects the seal. Look, the branch.
Whoa. Guardian Tree.
What are those things? Must be whatever's sealed in here.
Why are they seals in the forest? Aren't they sea creatures? That's what the more parts are for.
Here they come.
What's all this icky paint like goop?
Why does it not have a name? I do love this background though. It's like freaking a classic painting. Look at it. Oh my god. My favorite enemy. My favorite enemy. Redacted. Okay, so the bottom one absorbs earth. Got it. Ow, do not aqua breath me. Bro, what did I just tell you? Since we haven't damaged the bottom one, we can just keep slinging Titans, since it doesn't matter if it absorbs it if it has full HP. Ha!
Taken down on the word go!
Wait, shit. Fuck. I fucked up, you guys. Earthshaker. Ow. Why would you do that? Alright, let's freaking go. I have a feeling these things are not all there is to this boss fight. Now we are fast. I forgot I bought haste that I should have cast it at the beginning of the battle. Okay, that absorbs fire, noted. I guess each one absorbs a different elephant. They're probably like fire, water... Not fire, water, grass, and electric Micaiah. Fire, water, earth, and wind? A boss fight having a second phase? When would that ever happen? Compared to the usual bosses, these aren't doing much, yeah. So I kinda got a feeling. I got an inkling. If I had to be an inkling, it would probably be one of the ones with an interracial lesbian romance. That's a good choice. Wait, shit. Damn it, I never bought any... Hey, let's see what throwing the ash does. Okay. Okay. We learned arrow now.
Such efficient work, as if anything less could be expected of the bearers of the crystal's power. Well done, you've destroyed the seals. Suppose I should thank you for
Saving me the trouble. Exdeath. How ironic. The seals broken by the power of the 4 warriors meant to protect them. What? They were crystals.
So about that second phase.
Oh. The crystals which bound me for so long now. Their power is mine. Bow down before my crystals and my power.
Steven Universe be like.
My heart's pounding. Something must have happened to Grandpa.
Goobo!
What? They're in the Forest of Moor.
Come on, let's go.
Time for your viscera to see the light of day. Now die.
Grandpa! Oh, Bartz, Lena, Ferris.
Creel. Exdeath.
Don't worry, he shouldn't be doing anything for a while. Oh.
Impudent little fool!
Hey, what are you...
Die.
Grandpa!
Real. So certain you want to keep moving, Galuf. Try to dispel this power and your precious crystals will shatter. Kriya. Exdeath!
Old man literally too angry to die.
Take this! Now I'll show you my true power. Prepare yourself for the afterlife. Why won't you die? Takes a lot more than that for me to kick the bucket. I'll destroy you, Exdeath, even if it means I have to take you into the afterlife myself. Fool, all the hatred in existence would never be enough to defeat me. This isn't anger. Isn't hatred, it's... Then what?
Grandpa! Galuf! Grandpa!
Galuf.
Galuf!
Hold on, we can... No good. It's too late for me. Galuf, don't talk like that.
Caliph. Get up, you old bat. Quit playing around, this isn't funny. Wake up, please.
Bart. Lena, Ferris. My dear Creel. Exdeath. Exdeath. Destroy him.
Grandpa, no! Can't die! You can't!
Galif! Come on. Kiraga!
Please. Raise! Open your eyes. Phoenix down, elixir, anything! Galif's flame has flickered out. Grandpa! No! You can't leave me! You can't die! Don't want to ruin the moment, but I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do here. Grandpa's calling. Grandpa?
The guardian tree, which has protected the crystals for 1,000 years, letting me borrow its power to speak to you. I don't have long. I want to give you my strength. Come, Creel. Don't cry. Stand with Bots and the others. Be strong and fight.
No! You do it! Come back! Don't leave me alone!
You know I can't do that, but you're not alone, Creel. You understand that, don't you?
Creel received Galif's abilities. Grandpa, it's warm. I feel you with me.
I'll be in your heart, always.
Grandpa, I understand. Huh. Exdeath is...
Creel!
Bart's, Lena, Ferris, I'll fight along with you.
Creel.
Grandpa told me that right now Exdeath is trying to destroy the crystals. We have to hurry to Exdeath's castle. The Wind Drake! Gallup just has his phone in the afterlife, literally calling Creel. Well, no, you see, that's the thing. He's just putting his hand on King Kai's back, and he's like, "You're Goku now." I'm sure he'll be okay. Yeah, Creel is a real deal official party member, and she has all of Gallif's job levels and everything. So it replaces a party member, but you don't lose any of the progress or anything you were working on. Go ahead and put her as a ranger with summon like we had from Gallif. But yeah, I do find it really interesting that, this is actually, like, the most female-heavy final party in a Final Fantasy game. Because Bartz is the only guy. Which honestly is a really cool subversion, because the way that it kind of sets it up between, you know, like, between the whole thing with, like, them kind of, like, setting it up like, oh, Ferris is actually a guy kind of thing, which obviously gets subverted later. And, you know, with Gallif as one of the main, like, the first party members, you kind of get it started with, oh, okay, so, like, Lena's gonna be the only girl, which, like, in a lot of RPGs, especially in the 90s, there was usually, like, token girl, and then who's usually a princess or someone very sweet, like a childhood friend. And then maybe if you were lucky, there'd be like one extra party member who was kind of like the older lady slash bad bitch of the group. But you know, for the most part, it would be like the party would be largely male. So I always thought that it was really cool that Final Fantasy V kind of subverted that whole thing by the end of it, even though it looks like it's not going to at the beginning. Bartz transitions and becomes a full party of girls. I was gonna take joke and say he was the token cisgendered straight male, but then I realized what Maddie brought up earlier is that both Gallif and Bartz were attracted to Ferris when they thought she was a man, so literally the girls in the gays saved 2 planets. Bartz already has 2 out of 3 letters of HRT, each then go a little bit further. And this is what it's like to go even further beyond. It's like the Super Saiyan 3 transformation, but instead of like the long gold hair, you're just like your ass gets fatter and you get boobs. And the thing is, lots of peepers. Thing is, Creel obviously has her own sets of sprites for every single job class. So that means there is actually 5 complete, like, total sets of sprites in every job class for all the characters to have a unique look. Another underrated little, like, attention to detail where they kind of went above and beyond more than they probably needed to. Because the thing is, like, with Final Fantasy 1 and Final Fantasy 3, which are the other two that had, like, a job class system, if multiple people were in the same job class in one of those games, they would just look identical. Like, if everyone was a black mage, they would all just look the same. If everyone was, like, a warrior, they'd all look the same. So the fact that every character has their own take on their job class outfit, even with, like, having a fifth character, I don't know, I think it's a lot of effort and it's really cool. It's just one of those things that, like, signals the amount of quality that they were really determined to put into the Final Fantasy series, even back when it wasn't that old. Because this game originally came out in 1992. And the original game only came out in 87. So it was like 87, then 88 for Final Fantasy 2, 1990 for 3, 91 for 4, and then 92 for this game. I know it's weird to think about it now for how long main games in series come out, but a lot of older series used to be, like, yearly. Because, like, even on years when there wouldn't be a main series game or something, like, for example, this came out in 92, Final Fantasy VI came out in 94, but then Secret of Mana came out in 1993. Then it was Final Fantasy VI in 94, then Chrono Trigger in 1995, Super Mario RPG in 1996, then Final Fantasy VII in 1997. 1998's Xenogears and Brave Fencer Musashi, 99 is Final Fantasy VIII, 2000 is Final Fantasy IX, and then 2001 is Final Fantasy X. So for, like, almost 15 years, there wasn't really a break in the action for the series. Just keep in mind, the Mana series actually started out as a legitimate Final Fantasy spin-off, because the first game was called, well, in Japanese it was called Seiken Densetsu Final Fantasy Gaiden. I should finish Bravely Default sometime. Okay. Of the 3 Bravely games, the only one I have is End Layer. I have never been able to find a physical copy of the first Bravely Default on 3DS. I mean, I want to play it, because the game looks like exactly everything I want. I mean, job classes, turn-based combat. Oh, Rain? And you might just want to, like, throw it on an emulator, because DS is ludicrously easy to emulate. You should definitely check out the game Final Fantasy: The Four Heroes of Light. Because that game is basically like Bravely Default Zero. It came out for the original DS, like, near the end of its lifespan. And it's made by a lot of the same team. It's got, like, the same art style. It's got a job class system. I know it's got, like, an annoyingly convoluted name, but it's Final Fantasy: The Four Heroes of Light, but it doesn't spell out 4, it uses the number. Like in the game's logo. Because the connection with Bravely Default and Final Fantasy is much more obvious in Japan. Because the Japanese name of the first game is Bravely Default Flying Fairy. And it's abbreviated in a lot of logo and advertising stuff as Bravely Default FF. It's like I said, the Mana series started out as a Final Fantasy spin-off, and so did Kingdom Hearts. It's kind of like how with Capcom, half of their franchises started out as Resident Evil butts. They should just call it Togekiss to save some letters. Hey, I love you's just 8 letters. I don't really feel like doing any more story stuff right now, and I also almost made myself cry with the Creely voice acting earlier. I'm method acting, okay? I'm just gonna, like, use this and some of those Aria of Sorrow clips, and that's going to be, like, my voice acting demo tape. Keep an eye out for it next time I go hunting for used games. Yeah, I have the 4 Heroes of Light. I actually pre-ordered it when it first came out. Because I'm probably going to be wrapping up the stream soon. I know it's a shorter one today, but... Oh, damn. We just saved over Galef. He's gone. Later, bro. So I'm probably going to wrap up in a little bit. I'm just going to grind a little bit in the app. I do admit, though, like, I think I mentioned earlier in stream that I miss starting earlier in the afternoon. But I also miss, like... I miss doing 4-hour streams more often. I feel like it's usually only 2 or 3 hours. Just because well, that's the problem with starting at 7. But problem with starting at 7 is, like, you know, in 4 hours it's 11 o'clock at night. Do the wit thing and stream for 7 hours. I don't think I could handle that, to be honest. I don't mean this in a bad way, but, you know, for Wit, this is her whole job, is art and streaming. I still have to suffer with job, so... If this really was all I was doing for, like, my career and money and stuff, I probably would have, like, 5 or 6 hour streams most of the time. Like, just have that be my work day. For, like, 3 days a week or 4 days a week. Because, like... when I was, like, between jobs and stuff earlier this year, you know, when I first got into streaming, even though my first few streams were, like, an hour and a half, because, like, I underestimated just how much work it is to basically be doing a live performance while playing a video game for several hours uninterrupted. Also, I'm sorry I don't really do breaks anymore. But I don't really need them as much. You really do have to build up the stamina, because, you know, back in, like, my second month of streaming, like, every hour and a half, I ended up taking, like, a 15-minute break or whatever. But now I just don't really feel the need to that much. I mean, honestly, I don't want to get burnt out. That's also true. But no, like, I honestly cannot believe that I am able to, like, go to work at job for 8 hours or whatever, and then come back home and then stream for, like, 2 or 3 hours sometimes. Like, if you would have told me a year ago that that's something I would have been able to do, I would have thought you were crazy. But it's like, it's hard to describe to people, because some people are like, oh, you know, if you get to do something, you get to play video games and just talk into a microphone, that's not work at all. And, like, it is work, because, like, I hate the thing where, like, people are like, oh, if you do something you love, you never work a day in your life. It's like, no, if you do something you love, it's gonna be work. And part of love, that's why I'd say a labor of love, because, like, yeah, everything involves some work. It's gonna be effort, it's gonna be endurance, it's gonna be growth. Even fun things are hard work, and that's why they're fun. That's why, you know, people hate when video games are, like, super duper easy and they just give you everything all the time. What they're having a hard time encapsulating is that resistance, that friction, is part of what makes the fun. Because making anything enjoyable is about ebb and flow, And the thing is, happiness and fun are not the only enjoyable emotions. It's good to have simulations of fear, of worry, of concern, if you're doing it in a safe space with no actual, like, consequences. I'd argue that you work much harder doing something you love. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I get paid tomorrow, I got spare money after bills stuff, I might go game hunting. Hell yeah, you go get those games, girl. I can make you a list of 500,000 million games. Oh, actually, okay. Rain, do you have a PlayStation Vita? Or a PlayStation Vita TV, or PS TV as they called it in the US? Because a bunch of Vita games that used to be like $50 or $60 on eBay are trending around the $30 mark. One that I wanted to point out in particularly that's gone down to between like $25 and $30 is called Sorcery Saga: Curse of the Curry God. And the thing is with Sorcery Saga is it's a weird localization thing because it's actually part of a long-running series, and that series is Mado Monogatari. And Mado Monogatari is the series that Puyo Puyo came from. And a lot of them are like dungeon crawlers, and they're almost all really good. I do actually kind of miss my custom framing job because I had fun, but where I was working was a pretty shitty work environment. That's kind of where I'm at. It's not like super shitty all the time, but like these are definitely not people I could ever tell that I was a pansexual trans woman. Do not have a PS Vita. Sag. If you do ever get one, immediately download Breath of Fire 3. It is $10. Breath of Fire 3 is amazing. And the PSP version's available digitally for $10. That's the thing, if you get a Vita, you can just get a bunch of PSP games. And a lot of them play really well, because the Vita has a second stick. You probably know that the PSP only had one analog stick. With the Vita, it actually lets you remap pretty much anything, anywhere you want to from PSP games. And an upshot of that is, like, you know, there are a lot of games like Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker or like Kingdom Hearts or whatever that had like the camera either on L or R or the camera on the D-pad. And you can actually remap like the D-pad directions or whatever to the right analog, so you can have more traditional analog camera control. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for coming by and hanging out with me while I play some Final Fantasy V. I did kind of want to stream longer, but I ended up starting later than I wanted to. I should get a PS Vita because I want to try and find Gravity Rush. The Gravity Rush is available on PS4 as well, as Gravity Rush Remaster. So even if you can't find a Vita, still worth it. It's still worth picking up Gravity Rush for PS4 or 5. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. Thank you for coming by and hanging out with me. I'm definitely gonna stream Saturday, might stream tomorrow, it depends on how I feel. I'm kind of feeling like actually streaming the Dragon Quest VII Reimagined demo. I might just do that. I know it's like something new, but I really was charmed by it when I was playing it. And I'd love to share it with you guys, but we'll see how I feel. But regardless, you guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Bye!